Not all guns in Sulfur are created for the sole purpose of man-stopping. Sometimes they can be used to make your life just a bit easier. Us Sulfies like to call these builds utility guns. Sometimes you find something in Sulfur and you can't quite figure out exactly what you're supposed to do with it right away. That's why I wanted to make this video, to help anyone who isn't getting the best possible usage out of what seem to be meme blasters like the Flicker, the Unknown, or even the Ploika, but not really the Ploika, because that one's not just great with utility, but also really good at man-stopping too. It's actually one of the best guns in the game for general building. With that insane fire rate, huge ammo size, it's also small in the inventory. I mean, there's just so many ways you can build this thing that it's amazing. Sorry, at times it can be too easy to gush over our little prince. Now, little would be an understatement if we're talking about something like the Flicker, you know, the little Zippo you might find hanging out in Stiffleg's inventory. When you find yourself one of these bad boys, the first thing you'll do is put a little silencer on it and a scope on it and just love how it looks. It's so cute. The cutest little silencer you've ever seen, but it's also incredibly good for utility. One could argue it's the best of the bunch for regular runs. In fact, you probably heard me say before that it will never leave my inventory. There's no reason to take it out. There's so much stuff to explode in Sulfur, whether it's baby goblins, civilian goblins, mommies, daddies, little kids. Everything's gotta explode at some point. So says the man I live my life by, Torque. Maybe the most important vulnerable objects for us to take advantage of. Wait, that sounds weird. Maybe the most important fragile things for us to take advantage of. Yeah, that's a little better. Are crack walls and amalgamations. You can get through these with a grenade or an explosive barrel, but the scroll of explosion enchantment is going to be the best way to handle it. Really, with the Flicker, just throw the explosive scroll on there. Anything else you want to put there, it doesn't really matter. I like to churn mine into a 12 gauge and make it infinite ammo with the Tetris and Mosquito combo, everybody's favorite combo that nobody's sick of hearing about, but this is a utility gun, all right? Most of your utility guns should have infinite ammo. Don't make me rant about it. That might just be me being lazy because I don't want to reload. I'm already using these things to be convenient. Most people will probably be like, I don't care if I gotta reload. Maybe I could use this as a backup piece as well. I mean, it's totally preference. Personally, I like to put Inherited on it because I'm just blowing up walls. I'm not killing things for loot, so yeah, why not? Then I throw on Stiffy Fit oil so I can increase the durability and only take a negative to reload, but I don't have to do that with infinite ammo. Every one of your guns should have a laser sight. Every single gun can use a laser sight, so you might as well throw it on there. Once again, please give us multiple colors for laser sights. Perfect random, thank you. As well as insurance, just in case. I mean, that's what it's for, right? Just in case. And then also wormage compensator, any barrel type you want. It doesn't really matter. I'm just using this thing to blow up walls. It's really not a hard target. But honestly, there's a million different things to explode in this game, and another really important one is the amalgamations. These things used to take thousands and thousands of bullets to kill them, but now you just need to explode them after popping their eyeballs. But Dot, what if I'm farming an area for a specific need, like going through town for herbs or going through forest for rodsop mushrooms? I'm not really there to kill, I'm just there for loot. That's valid, and that's where the Ploika Compact comes into play. Because what I like to do with the Ploika is lots of things, really. Like I said, I love this gun, but do you really want me to go ranting again? I think not, sir. Well, let's say you do want a gun that's great for just farming and mostly avoiding fights if possible. Let's take this little Ploika, let's put 12 gauge on it, let's put Tetris and Mosquito oil once again. Of course, explosions. We gotta have our explosions if we're looting. We don't have time to wait for bullet penetration or bounces to connect. No, we want everything gone in like a 6-mile radius the second we pull the trigger. And before you say anything, I am aware if you put 12 gauge on a gun that's shooting 1500 RPM, it's going to shoot towards the sky. Trust me, okay? I didn't just do all this in like 10 minutes. I use these guns all the time. I constantly grind for specific things. How do you think I got a chest full of pizzas? There is a great oil combination to help with that insane recoil, and that's going to be Relax Oil and Stable Hip Oil. Relax only nerfs your gun by 20% bullet speed, which is just minuscule, and it gives a 50% reduction in recoil, which is nuts. Between you and me, with the rate perfect random likes to nerf stuff, I wouldn't be shocked to see this thing take a bit of a dive. So use it while you can love it before you're forced to like it. God, I hope we don't have to hate it at some point. And Stable Hip is arguably the best recoil oil in the game, giving you minus 62% recoil while only disabling aiming. And if we're looting, we're not aiming. We don't have to aim with this thing. The bullets just go everywhere and kill everything, don't worry. And that's not just with the townies and their puppies. Yeah, those guys are going to get wiped off the Earth. Well, the afterlife Earth, which is probably a different Earth. I don't think this is what Sweden looks like, but I can't confirm it. But it's also great against those stupid baby birds in forests, the baby craws. What are they called? Sentinels? Shit, watchers? I don't know. I just call them the baby birds. It's sometimes you come up with a nickname for an enemy and it just sticks. Baby birds make sense. It's an awesome bird gun, and it also has one more secret ability that I wasn't even planning on. It just sort of happened. This gun will throw on a bit of a juggling act against some enemies, especially if they have too much health. Sometimes I forget it does that, and I have to stop myself from laughing too loud and waking up my kid who's trying to take a nap next door. Stuff like that just never gets old. For attachments, I did warmage compensator, laser sight, and insurance. I am doing a great job with this gun build video today, damn it. Did I mention it was 12 gauge? I did, yeah, there was a whole bit about that. The 3 guns I mentioned at the beginning of this video were nothing more than foreshadow, because the third gun I want to talk about is Unknown. Is it really foreshadow, or is it me just explaining what's in the video? I don't care. The Unknown is great with the explosive scroll if you want more durability at the cost of inventory space. If you think you're going to be shooting a bunch of crack walls and you don't really want to repair anytime soon, Unknown is a great substitute for the flicker. There, we got that out of the way. Also, the Unknown and the Ploika are great for charm builds. I wouldn't really do that with the flicker, but charm builds are more of a specific playstyle and less of a utility kind of gun, if you get what I'm saying. We're doing utility today, remember? I do love making an RTS gun, though. That is one of the best ways to play this game. But we're not doing explosive with the Unknown. Instead, we're going to be doing something a bit cheesier. We're going to be lobotomizing people, and that sounds really insensitive, but it's from the scroll of toxic lobotomy, alright? I'm not being insensitive on purpose. The scroll of toxic lobotomy is a very niche scroll, and that's mostly because of the durability loss being plus 350%, which is nuts. But, let's not forget about the headshot damage doing 300% extra, which is pretty great for boss slaying. Any slaying, really. It's also a railgun, meaning bullet speed won't affect it. We went over that in our last video, which is our attributes video. But most importantly, it will always drop organs on hit. That's cool. What am I supposed to do with that? You're gonna use those organs to cook stuff, or even churn them into stamps by talking to Chef. But this is gun 1 of 2, so we'll get to that next. Yeah, Sulfur's a pretty robust experience with the looting, the cooking, the questing, the exploding, the man-stopping. There's just so much stuff to do, hopefully eventually fishing. But these organs can be used to make so many different powerful foods, my favorite being the spaghetti bolognese or maybe even the hard-shell tacos. Well, if we're being serious here, it would actually be the double cheeseburgers, which, going back to Chef, we can get everything we need except for the cheese. We need to talk to the Rat Queen to get the cheese, or we could just get... You know what? I'm not going to go on a tangent. This isn't a video about cooking the best foods in Sulfur. You'd have to let me know if you wanted that, so maybe use the comment section for that if you're feeling a little crazy. Usually in any game you stop shooting something once it dies, but not if you're using the scroll of toxic lobotomy, because you can get more organs if you continue to shoot them after their body hits the floor. Just keep aiming at the flesh and skin and stuff until it's all bloody and it doesn't look like there's anything left. Then you know to stop shooting at that thing. Whatever you chose to get flesh and thyroids and brains, bones from. That's what makes this such a powerful utility scroll. And the Unknown having way more durability than the flicker and even the Ploika means you can get even more use out of it before having to repair it. I'm going to remind you once more, my utility guns are always infinite ammo, so once again we got Mosquito and Tetris. Fun fact, organs don't count as loot. That's why we're bringing back inherited oil to increase that durability even more, because we're just doing this for organs. Maybe a less fun fact is that energy guns can't have have any barrel attachments, so to get the spread all the way down, I like to do dead center oil. That'll give us -2 spread and +1 recoil. Good thing energy guns don't have recoil, right? Then of course we have the laser sight and insurance, but I like to put a sniper scope on so I can get precise shots. I want to get right in the pupil if I'm going for a dog eye or something. Let's just consider that unknown to be our lobotomy nurse, I guess. I don't know, that's just the way I differentiate it from this Ploika compact with toxic lobotomy. This guy's the mad doctor, not of the DBD variety. Fuck that guy. This thing will melt everything off of an enemy the second you pull the trigger. It's just going to rain organs all over you. That's why I prefer it if I'm doing stamp grinding. When it comes to quests, Chef Grossberg will only ask you for organs. You can run caves and get a bunch of goblin flesh, then go to town, get a bunch of human flesh and whatever else they got on them, and keep raiding their dead bodies to complete more requests. Chef Grossberg won't spawn in caves, so that's why you'd have to bring the goblin flesh with you, or you could put it in the pink chest, or you could run endless and have it in a bunch of chests and then just stay there for hours and hours grinding out stamps. I don't know what you want to do. It's your choice. But there's also sewers which will spawn goblins, humans, and dogs, all of the 3 types of flesh he could ask for. Also those demon frogs, but he won't ask for their flesh, thankfully. This thing will be way more effective than the unknown, even when it comes to flesh, but it will burn through repair kits at a record pace. That's why I wanted to give you both options. Luckily for me and my Jabberjaw, the build is almost identical to the explosive Ploika, with Tetris, Mosquito, Relax, and Stable Hip, but this time you take out explosive and put toxic lobotomy on. Obviously, do I even need to say that? Come on, dude. And once again, the attachments are preference with the laser sight, insurance, Bresnik, warmage compensator, silencer, whatever you want to do. You can even put a sight on there even though you can't ADS. It's your life. Live it the way you want to, sweetie. And those are the 4 guns I use in Sulfur when I'm feeling too lazy to swing a sword or throw a grenade. You can't expect me to want to do all that manual labor when I got a kid who's almost 2 years old running around the house. I gotta keep up with him already as it is. But if you have any utility builds that you use that I didn't mention here today, make sure to let us know in the comments section. We could all use that extra intelligence from you. I know you're smart. You're smart as a whip. That's because you're smart enough to know that after I thank the members in every video, there's still more video left after that. Look at you, you wise guy, you cool guy. I love you for that. I also love the members in this community. Now, these guys go out of their way to give some extra support to my family and I every month. They don't have to do that, but they do it anyways. Does it make them smarter? Yes. Does it make them have better RNG and sulfur? That's a big probably. Does it make me say something nice about them at the end of every video? You're damn right it does. Always a huge thank you to them, but also a thank you to you for watching another sulfur video. If you have any requests, put them down in the comments. I'll make sure to look at them and see if I can do something with them. Another video like this, identical to all the other videos. Nothing has changed. I didn't try anything new. Even though I claimed I always try something new, I didn't bother to do that this time. Not one thing was different. Isn't that weird? Just as always, I can't forget to say, Gaba.